Video response to my buddy Bennathon. So the purpose of this video is to talk about what he spoke about and to also make myself look good. Both of them are quite easy to achieve, obviously. Now, Redford, as I like to call him, makes note of the term chav. Now, when we talk of chav, we, as in Surrey English lot, refer to a stereotype pikey. Pikey basically means piece of shit. Now, as Redford correctly points out, not everybody who looks chavvyish meets the stereotype of a disgusting and vile loser. For example, well, I'm not going to name anybody because that's just rude, but people look chavvy, may listen to chavvy music, but may not have the personality of a chav, may be completely nice people, or they might. Now, chavs, their dress is, and I know a lot of people know what it is, but for those of you who don't, for those of you who don't, it's a typical tracksuit wearing type. Females tend to wear lots of coated foundation, makeup, short skirts, huge hooped earrings, hair scraped back like this in a ponytail, looking like their skin's being stretched to the point where they're some kind of mutant, all that kind of thing. Often they drive really modified, cheap, crappy old cars, which they spend about 15 years getting to look really cool, that kind of thing. Chavs, basically, that kind of stereotype. However, for a more accurate interpretation, the link is here. Ooh. Okay, now Redford makes talk of the concept of chav and about how he doesn't like them, about how they're just idiots and yobs. Well, yobs they are, yes. We will talk from the term stereotype of chav, because obviously individual differences take part with everybody, but I'm just going to talk about the stereotype. Stereotype of chav, and how he mentioned about how in his work chavs were basically mucking his time about. Now, they're just like that. They're just complete scum. They're morons, idiots, prats, socially dysfunctional pieces of shit. Obviously, many chavs are nice people. I know several people who are quite chavvyish, and I like them. I know several people who are quite chavvyish, and wish them nothing but a short drop and a sudden stop. But yes, that's the concept of chav. From my interpretation of Mr. Redford's, it's stereotype isn't about a good thing. Now let me take you an example. Chavs are influenced by a lot of like dance, trancey music, drum and bass. They won't listen to anything that has a loud guitar in, and anything that requires any minuscule talent, because they consider it emo-y, gothy shit. About 2 years ago, in 2007, yes, that's 2 years ago, myself, another friend, and Bennathon were out for a walk in a park, and we sat down, blah blah blah, in this park, a couple of 16-year-olds just hanging out. A bunch of young-looking kids come over, properly wrapped up, you know, real hardcore gangstery, looking for chains and the hats and everything. Like, I like to refer to this as a more upper-class version of chav, a rude boy, effectively. And these guys, they were about, what, like 10 or so, and they came up to us. The oldest one might have been about 15. They were just like, oh yeah, we the I don't know, village hood or something like that, and they just gave us a crock of shit. And of course, you know, no man would strike a kid. Otherwise, I'm not a man. But these kids were so rude. In the end, we told them that we were leaving and politely said that they should go and get jobs. I hope they're having fun working, and where as to how they're working. Probably a fish and chip shop. But yeah. Let's cut this an example. And I remember at one point, one of them threw a rock at Mr. Redford, and he had to duck to avoid it. And another one of them tried to hit me with a stick. And we're too surprised, too shocked to actually take in what's going on. We're being harassed by a bunch of 10-year-olds using violence. And that's the more worrying thing about the chav, because the chav the pikey has existed for generations. since the bikie is a more slang term for the common surf, working class drunk type. By the way, I'm not pro the stereotype of working class drunks, but I tend to see it, unfortunately. Basically, it was an unprovoked and very strange attack, and though we could easily have gotten rid of them, the frightening thing was that these kids' parents were actually watching them, and they weren't saying, you know, stop throwing rocks at that guy with the silly hat on and the strange hair. They were just staring, like not giving any command or anything at all. And that's the most frightening thing, because the generation that I'm familiar with aren't particularly pleasant, but they're not exactly all that bad. But the generation that are growing up, what's going to happen there? And I'm simply saying, it's frightening. The generation of Chavs today is not scary at all. Quite a lot of them are alright people when you get to know them. But what are we really seeing in the newer generation? I'm Roman blood. And I say, vote Lib Dem, fuck the UK Independence Party, fuck the British National Party, and keep it metal. And if you like anything else apart from that isn't metal music, good for you. Cheers.